VC, Barry Winslow. VC Cheer is logging on. Well, it's been a little while, been a few weeks, but I want to come on and do a few things. Got an album here that I've really been digging that I want to talk to you guys about. I'm going to do like an album of the weekend, you could call it. I've got some concert tickets that I want to show you guys. And I want to show you guys also a little something that I've done with my collection in regards to organization. So, the first thing I want to do is just talk about what's playing behind me. And I'm going to call this my album of the week, even though it's the weekend. This album I've been digging about the last week or so, and I haven't had the opportunity to hop on and do an album of the week. And it's Van Morrison, Inarticulate Speech of the Heart, 1983 release. Different than his, obviously, than his, I'm going to turn it down real quick. Little different than his, obviously like late 60s, early 70s work. Different than Astral Weeks and St. Dominic's Preview and, you know, all of those albums. He kind of gets a glassier, smoother sound on this album. With still this Irish Celtic sound in the background. Really, I would say like 80s Celtic soul rock. Real glassy, real smooth. Some background harmonies on this album are just absolutely gorgeous, and I'm really happy to have this in my collection. If you don't have this album by Van Morrison, I would recommend it. I think it's great, and I think it's overlooked in his catalog. I know a lot of his stuff in the 70s is preferred, and I think that's great stuff too. Obviously, it's classic stuff. But just this album here, Inarticulate Speech of the Heart, both sides, there might be one or two fillers on the whole album, but both sides are very, very strong. I would recommend this. If you can find it, go grab it. It's worth picking up, absolutely. So that's my little album of the week, 83, like I said. Very impressed with this album. And the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was some concert tickets that I picked up. I'm going to say that this is really exciting for me. So here they are, 2 tickets, one for me and one for my father. They're printable off the computer. But if you can read that right about there. An Evening with Yes. They're coming August 10th to Mount Pleasant, which is, I don't know, probably like 2.5 hours from where I'm living right now. But it's on a Saturday. I'm going to go down, and my parents live about a half hour from this venue. It's an outdoor concert. Very, very excited about it. What's really cool is that Yes is going to be playing 3 of their albums in entirety. So back-to-back song track listing and everything, back-to-back these 3 albums. So they're going to start off with the Yes album. Oh, come on, Claire. There we go. So they're going to play this one first. Obviously, their 3rd album, the Yes album, 1971, I think. Yes, 1971. So they're going to play that in entirety. This album alone would have been, I mean, you've got Yours Is No Disgrace being the first song that that's what they're gonna open the concert with. Starship Trooper, I've Seen All Good People, Perpetual Change. Like, are you kidding me? And The Clap and Adventure, those 2 songs, those aren't slouches either. So they're gonna start with this one. Then they're going to go ahead and play the entirety of this mind-blowing masterpiece. Yup, Close to the Edge. They're playing this cover to cover after the Yes album. No big deal. Are you kidding me? This is going to be nuts. So, extremely excited for that. And then to wrap things up, after they finish off Close to the Edge, which would have been what? Now you're looking at like a 2-hour concert. They decided to go another hour and play a whole nother majestic album of theirs. Going for the one, 1977. Spectacular album. In fact, this is the album that I've really been digging recently in their catalog. This is actually the album after Close to the Edge, which is their 5th album that was released in '72, I believe. Yes, their 5th album. Okay, so this is the one after Fragile. Here, Bill Bruford, their drummer, left. He couldn't take it. He didn't really like the direction that the band was going, which I thought is pretty shocking because this is what I would call one of the greatest progressive rock albums of all time. But he left and he went to join King Crimson. And it was also at this time that they went on and they ventured into their work on Tales from Topographic Oceans. And after, I believe, Tales from Topographic Oceans, Rick Wakeman, their keyboardist, left because he didn't like really what had happened on Tales from Topographic Oceans. It was a lot more experimental, long-winded, large, long movements. They weren't quite as precise and tight on an actual rhythm and following an actual pattern in their music. More sporadic, you could call it. In fact, that's the album, I got it right here, that Jimmy Jamison got me. Let me see. So yeah, this album here, Tales from Topographic Oceans. So it's following this album that Rick Wakeman now left. And they picked up, I don't even remember who they picked up on keys at that time. But it's interesting that Rick Wakeman eventually came back and played after. So between this album when Rick Wakeman left and this album when he came back and played, there was an album between these that I don't have. It's Relayer. It was during the Relayer stage that Rick Wakeman, their keyboardist, was not interested in playing with Yes. He didn't like that experimental movements that they were making. So he went elsewhere, and he actually came back and played again on Going for the One. This is a little bit more precise, a little bit more structured. But this is the album that Rick Wakeman came back on, and they had, instead of Bruford, they still had Alan White on drums at this time. I do believe they had Alan White. Yes, they did. So, phenomenal album. I do still think that it gets overlooked in their catalog. But anyways, so they're going to be playing, three incredible, awesome albums here that I'm so excited about. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring these 3 albums to the concert. What I'm thinking about doing is like taking the albums and the inner sleeves out and bring the covers, keep them protected obviously, but I'm see if I can't get these autographed. I'm going to be in the 16th row, and I don't have any backstage pass tickets or anything like that. But I'm going to try to jut up there at the end of the concert and see if I can't hand these up and get some autographs. It'd be cool to get Steve Howe and Chris Squire and that'd be Alan White. That'd be so cool to get these signed. So But anyways, there's a little concert update. August, I'm going to go see Yes. I'm extremely excited. And then one more thing I want to show you guys that I think you might really like. And I actually saw this idea at a record store in Bay City called the Electric Kitsch. And their dividers that they use were actually old albums that they pulled out about halfway out of the sleeve and then glued them in place with hot glue. So inside the covers, the cardboard covers, the sleeves. And I thought, man, that's really cool. So they have these half of an album, if you could imagine, and then the cover being back here. And they stuck on sticker letters, and those were the dividers. So as you were panning through the albums through A, B, C, D, the dividers were actually half of an album. And then I saw Sequoia Flame. He did this as well. And what he did is instead of sticking on sticker letters, he got stencils and took a silver Sharpie marker and then stenciled and colored in the stencil letters A to Z. So what I did is I took the idea that I originally saw from the record store, and I'm not trying to copy Sequoia Flame, so don't take this the wrong way. But then he got like a really cool looking font, but I just went more basic. So basically what I'm going to show you real quick is I'm not all the way done. I'm through G right now. So I've got A through G completed, but as you can see, these are just albums that I wasn't really interested in. Ray Conniff and Symphony Orchestra. I mean, stuff that maybe others would like, but I don't really get into that kind of stuff. So what I did is, these are glued fast. These are glued in place. They're not going anywhere. I mean, I got a whole, obviously 26 of them, but as you can see, they're right there. Okay? And then what I'm doing is I'm going through with some stencils that I picked up at Joann Fabrics for like $3. And I got a real cheap glue gun for like $2. And I had a silver Sharpie, so it was like $5 for this whole thing. And then I'm actually coming through and directly writing on this section, the exposed section of the vinyl, with the letter, right, that I would need. So A through Z, and then it's actually like you're just coloring in the lines in the stencil. But these are going to be my dividers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this. Excuse the shaking, but I'm going to show you what it's starting to look like here. So as you can see, here I'm going to move my chair here. But as you can see, we've actually got A, right, B, C, D, E, right, F, and then G. So I'm going to continue through my collection here, and eventually this bottom row here will get filled as well. So those are my dividers. So that should turn out nicely when it's all done. It's just the hard part's done. Now it's just going through and coloring in, which isn't too bad. I'm almost done with it. But yeah, so there we go. We've got Album of the Week, Van Morrison, Inarticulate Speech of the Heart, which is playing in the background. Hope you guys are enjoying that as much as I am. Yes Concert, playing the Yes album, Close to the Edge, and Going for the One, back to back to back in their entirety. And new dividers. So a little bit look around my music room there. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Here is my Vernors and Vanilla Smirnoff. Delicious little mixed drink here. So that's a BC Cheers. Wanted to stop in and say hi. Thank you for the comments. Thank you all my subscribers. It really does mean a lot to me when you guys come down and you comment and post. And I know I'm not the best with commenting. I always feel like I'm playing catch up. But now that I got this job and stuff, I've been pretty busy. But I do enjoy catching up and coming on and always chatting with the vinyl community. So nice to hop on. You guys take care of yourself. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend, and we'll catch you guys later. Okay. All right. Cheers. Take care.